Hey guys, welcome to Market Recap, and we're gonna be looking at some trade opportunities coming tomorrow. Guys, my name is George. I trade live every single day in my Discord. But with enough said about me, let's just jump into what we're seeing as far as in the markets, and I'm gonna go over some recaps as well. Right now, we're looking at futures, and futures is pushing up right now, but futures is in a spot where it can reject, and this is where I would be looking for a rejection on futures, especially on NQ. So this right now is in a kind of like a tricky spot with the 50% retracement line right here, looking for some type of rejection to come down. If not, then we could break to the upside. So there's a lot that can happen between now and in the morning. So you have to pay attention to what's going on, especially with NQ going into tomorrow. Now, with that said, let's just go over a couple of things. Like I mentioned yesterday, as far as for trade opportunity, I think I mentioned SPY to you guys yesterday. I did. I mentioned SPY to you guys yesterday, and SPY played out perfect as far as what it was supposed to do. I told you guys yesterday or last night, I said, listen, if SPY breaks right here, the previous day, which was yesterday, if SPY breaks right here, then we're coming down, and our targets was going to be the bottom of the body of this candle followed by the bottom of the candle itself, right? And it did exactly what we wanted it to do, right? And it broke. Now it did kind of pull back a little bit, which was a little bit on the scary side in the morning, right? I'm like, man, because what happened was on this 15-minute right here, it came down and bounced off this yellow line and the previous day low. My yellow line right here is my 200 MA. So once I saw that and it bounced off of there, the 15-minute close like that, I was a little bit like, but eventually I know my stop loss, if it had broke above this 15-minute candle, that would have been my stop loss. I would have been out of that trade, right? But it didn't break. It continued down like I expected it to, hit my first target, followed by my second target. And we did on that trade well over 150% on those trades, which was amazing as far as the trade itself, right? We also caught Google yesterday. Well, it's today, I should say, right? We also caught a Google. With Google, Google came just start dropping to begin with. Now in the day, I really wasn't looking for puts on Google, but I would say once I back test, I have a Google alert, and once it's back tested, which it is back tested, so anytime I get an alert on Google, I'm taking it. So this morning it gave me an alert on Google. Wasn't sure if I wanted to take it or not, but my wife was like, "Yo, we getting in." We back tested it, and we did over 20% on those Google puts. Now you have to pay attention to Google because the simple fact that Google have earnings this week. On those same puts, if it wasn't earnings, we would have made a lot more on those puts. But because of earnings, the IV on it is very high. So not yeah, the IV on it is very high. So with that, you don't make as much on the drop as you would if you didn't have earnings coming up this week. So with that said, those were the two trades that I did. I also had swings going into today as far as QQQ puts, and those QQQ puts paid off, which gave me 600% on the QQQ puts. I had expirations for today, some 560 puts coming into today, and those really paid off. Open up flat right here, and then just continue to drop to the downside, and we got 600% on those puts. Now, guys, if you don't think this is real as far as that, I do post my Discords live every single day on this channel as well. So you could go back and look, see why I took those trades at the end of the day. In my Discord, people made profit today, $6,000 on SPY puts, 170% right here. So crazy amount of profits as far as what people are making in the live callouts. Like I said, my trades, 150% on SPY right here. And then on the QQQ puts, 600% right there as far as QQQ puts. So definitely something. If you're interested, you could go jump over to my Discord. It's called Married to the Market. Me and my wife trade every single day live, and that's why we call it Married to the Markets, because we're married and we trade together, right? Which is lovely. I have an accountability partner that keeps me accountable, and we have fun while we trade, right? And we invite every married couple, even if you're single, to come and join us as well. So with that said, guys, for tomorrow's trade, right? It's gonna be tricky tomorrow, but like I said, there's a lot of plays that's setting up for tomorrow. Man, I like giving out plays. So with that, I'm gonna give out one play that in particular that I like. Might give you more. Just depends on how I feel right now. But right now, I like Riot to the upside. Right, Riot is looking perfect to the upside. As you know, Bitcoin is pushing to the upside. With Bitcoin right now, where is Bitcoin? Let's see. Bitcoin right now is at 118. Okay, so Bitcoin is at 118. We're pushing down on Bitcoin right now. Um, so that's a little bit as well. So right here, if we come down, test this 50 and bounce to the upside, then that's fine. Right now, we're creating a bearish divergence, right? I'm always telling certain things, but we're creating a bearish divergence. That's the same thing that I said on on SPY, right? So we have a higher high, lower high, right? So we're creating a bearish divergence on Bitcoin. So we just have to watch Bitcoin. Right now, we're consolidating within the 115, within the 115 and 118 range, 120 range right here. So we're just consolidating right now for either a move to the downside or a move to the upside. Right now, if we break this weekly, we will fall. Okay. If we break this weekly, we will fall and we will come down even more. If you look right here, look at that. I just draw the line just on the two candles right here. And if you look right here, we're hitting these lines as well perfectly. And these are weekly lines, okay? So that should tell you that these are weekly trend lines. And what happened when it hit those lines, we kind of go sideways and then we drop for a little bit and then continue up. So this right now on Bitcoin is a level where we might just pull back a little bit and fall and then continue to come up again, okay? So that's something you want to pay attention to. But as far as for a day trade, Riot is looking good for tomorrow. As far as for a reversal, if Riot breaks above, if Riot breaks above right here, which is the day high. So if Riot breaks above right here, then we're looking to take Riot back up to the highs and possibly continue above 530 1534. So we're probably going to look to 1550 and then continue up. Now remember guys, these are all psych levels, okay? So because the stock is less than $20, your psych levels come into 50-cent plays. So a psych level is $14. The next psych level is 14.50. Next one 15, then 15.50. So we didn't exactly go up to 15.50. That's why we sell off at 15.34, because there's a lot of sellers are at 15.50 and people want to take their profit before we get there. Okay, there's people already taking profit before it hit 15.50. So bear in mind that you can go up to 15.50, touch 15.50 and pull back and then continue. But Riot is definitely something that we're going to see pushed as long as Bitcoin is pushing as well. All right, so that's gonna be my trade for tomorrow. But like as always, I love to throw out um, just opportunities for people to make money. I love when people make money. This again is not financial advice by no means necessary. So with my generosity, I'm gonna give you another play, which is going to be MasterCard. All right, so MasterCard right now has a great reversal as far as to the upside. Now, remember, I showed you guys as far as XLF. XLF has a great opportunity to the upside as far as weekly. We broke to the upside. So with that, we should continue up as far as XLF, right? We did pull back right? Yesterday, that's Monday, and we expect the pullback, right? You guys have to remember we have to expect some type of pullback, then we continue up. So a break above right here, and we're gonna push a break above 52, 52.75, and we're gonna push because that means that XLF is gonna be bullish again because we broke to the upside. That means that you have to take a look at all the bank stocks. All the bank stocks might push again. So I talk about Bank of America. Bank of America played out and did good yesterday. Bank of America played out again and went higher today. So that was trading opportunity for you guys. So now with MasterCard falling under the same category, MasterCard on the daily looks good, right? We broke above this level right here. We broke above the high and now we're above VWAP. We have a gap that needs to be filled on MasterCard. So we have this gap right here that needs to be filled. So most likely we will test, right? We will test, which we went close to testing it, right? We went close to testing it. So that test is going to be at 560, okay? Right now, MasterCard already gapped up $2 and change. When I looked at it, MasterCard is already up, I want to say $2.50 when I last look at it. So let's take a look and see with MasterCard because let's see right here. So MasterCard, yeah, MasterCard is up $2.58. So MasterCard is already at 261. So right now we're within the middle of that gap to close that gap right here at 263. Not 263, but 563.50, right? So we're gonna close that gap most likely tomorrow, and then continue up based on the weekly. Okay, my weekly target on this is going to be right at right at 570.50. Okay, right at 570.50 is going to be my target. Now this might not happen this week. Okay, this might happen in a couple of weeks because this is based off of a weekly chart. So you have to give yourself time, especially if you're talking about options. And with these contracts are a little bit more as far as spread concerned. So you have to be careful when you're trading options on MasterCard because the spreads are horrible. Okay, so just bear that in mind as well. Now, for the finale, as you could see, we're talking about Tesla. Okay, so with the Tesla, Tesla has an opportunity for a big move this week. I completely dropped the ball. I'm not gonna lie, I completely dropped the ball as far as picking up Tesla today. Um, and I most likely won't trade it tomorrow. At this point, I will wait until after earnings. Earnings is gonna be tomorrow evening, after hours. So I probably won't trade Tesla tomorrow because the IV on it is really high. But I'm looking for Tesla to touch 350. Okay, I'm looking for Tesla. Tesla is above the 200, right? Tesla is above the 200. We came down and we gapped up on the week, but we came down and hit that 50% retracement on the weekly. So we bounced off of that level and now we're going back up. Now, the target on Tesla right now is going to be up here at 58. Okay, so at 358, that's going to be the target on Tesla as far as that. We have some levels right in here where the first sell level, again, that is going to be 347. So again, that's where the 350 come in, and the 350 is a psych level. Okay, now with earnings coming in, we can go both ways. We could go up and we could go down. Okay, that's one thing you have to remember as well. With earnings could be good, earnings could be bad. If earnings could be good and the stock still tank, earnings could be bad and the stock just take off, right? So if you look right here, we have a situation where you have a downtrend going on, right? And in a sense, tomorrow we can come up and test this level right here at 341, right? And then we could reject off of 341 and drop, okay? That can happen as well. Okay, with all that said, that can happen as well. Okay, so that's what you have to look at. Now, again, I only drew, if you notice, I only drew from here to here. I didn't even zoom out yet, but when I zoom out, you can see how it respected right there. And we have a couple rejections up here as well. So that's something to pay attention to. Once we're above here, then we know that we could come up, come down, bounce off of this, and then continue. And then we're in a more of a bullish area again, right? But also remember, I spoke about just being on the upside as well with Tesla going that way and then bouncing within this range. But with Tesla having earnings, this is going to be some big anticipation where we might see a huge gap up or a huge gap down. We just have to wait and see. And I don't trade earnings. So with that, I'm not into gambling. I'm into more of a technical analysis. And when I see a play and play what the chart gives me. So right now, the chart is charting, but at the same time, um, with IV being so high, I'm not really risking certain things on Tesla as much. But I'm looking for that big move on Tesla either way. So I would probably say I'll trade Tesla on Thursday after earnings. So with that, guys, like always, I always say if you find this information valuable, please go ahead, drop a like, let me know, comment, and also let YouTube know by dropping that like and then comment. Um, that the video was valuable and I appreciate your time, guys. So tomorrow, safe trading. And like as always, just make sure that before you take your trade, make sure it lines up and you have your A1 setup in place to take those. Make sure you're doing great risk reward management. And apart from that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful and safe trading day tomorrow. All right, guys. See y'all.